Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
This is what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have Monique Jackson with us. She is celebrity publicist and brand strategist, been involved in the game for a while, doing some amazing things. And I'm so thankful to have her on this episode of the Success Chronicles. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, talk to us about, I know off air we talked a little bit about your story. If you don't mind kind of sharing your story and how you got your start and tracking your story till now with the audience.
Sure. I always joke and say I've been in this business all my life. So I know no other business. When I was 15 years old, I had a work permit. In California, you can work at 15. So I got the work permit. And back then, the internet really didn't even exist. I was able to fudge. No, it exists, but I'm just saying it wasn't popping like that. So I was able to fudge a few things and act like I was already 18. And I started working for Soul Train. And I was the girl who actually helped with everything with the artist. I was talent relations is what they called me. So anything that related to talent, I was the go-to girl for that. And got a taste of this industry and just never looked back, honestly. To date, let's see. From there, I've worked with, Universal Pictures. I worked at Def Jam for 12 years. I helped build the West Coast office. Was bi-coastal, back and forth between New York and LA because the headquarters office of Def Jam was in New York, but I was there when Jay-Z was on commercial jets, like when Continental Airlines was out, when Ludacris was bringing in his demo tape, when Ja Rule was, Ashanti was just, we were carrying wings down the street in Miami because she was in the studio and she wasn't even that all baby yet. You know what I mean? She wasn't that chick just yet. So, I have some stories. But those things kind of grew me for where I am now. I've been out on my own for over a decade. I've worked with people like, Terrell Owens and Niecy Nash and Laila Ali, and the list goes on, countless of artists over at Def Jam. And so it's been a journey. But I always tell people, I love my career. I love my life, but it takes balance and it takes work in both of those things. So.
That's good stuff. Such a cool story. I think too, and I mentioned this off, air too. I mean, people look for hacks, but really the hack is there is no hack. You have to put in the work. You have to, live and learn. You have to grow, and then from there you develop those quality relationships because people see that your work is worth it. And
right.
And
it's a lot of discipline, trust me, because sometimes, especially working for yourself and even working in this industry. And it's no shade to anybody that does it, but I've never been a girl who drank or done drugs or, slept with another girl or you know what I mean? In this industry, people can kind of get lost in not only keeping up with the Joneses, but wanting to become part of the Jones. You know what I mean? So I'm not one that is in labels. This is like a Michael Kors, shirt, but I'm not sitting up here tripping with it has to be Gucci or Givenchy or all these other names that we don't even know how to really pronounce, and we don't know where their bank accounts, all of them are offshore bank accounts anyways. So I'm not interested in that, nor am I interested in losing myself in the spirit of you know, drinking or getting high or anything like that. And it's really like, when you're in this industry, when you're in any industry, actually, and even now so much, because we were talking off air about the internet and when it was popping and when it's not, because it's so much part of our day life. Like every freaking second, somebody is either on their phone, on their iPad, on their whatever. I mean, think about how many times you've used a device today that connects to the internet. So with the world literally being at our fingertip, it is so important for us to know who we are and what our focus is. And so I can't even say that in this industry anything, because it's kind of just like in the world, it's everything. So you have to be focused and you have to be disciplined. You have to, you know, kind of pick yourself up, even when you don't feel like it. And you have to, even more importantly, surround yourself with people who are going to push you and pick you up and lift you. You know what I mean? Take you that extra half of a mile when you don't feel like doing it at all. Because there's a lot of days, I mean, especially, and I hate to say especially being an entrepreneur, because it's really in life, because I find it, I was going to say there's a lot of days when I just don't feel like doing it, right? As an entrepreneur. But then there's also days when I just don't feel like doing it as a mother. You know what I mean? I have small children. You'll hear them eventually in the background. You might hear my dog bark. There's just days when you just don't feel like going forward, period. You know, and you have to dig deep. You have to dig deep. And that's what I think, that's what keeps me connected, even in my line of work, is understanding, and I'm not going to go preaching to you on this, but understanding that if I feel this way and my day is kind of average, or my life is kind of average, the other people that I work with, that they have more pressure, it's like, who's given much, much is required, right? And so when I feel like I'm going through a lot of pressure, or this project is driving me crazy, I was always taught to think on the other side of the fence. Then what is the counterpart going through? What is my talent going through? How are they dealing with these things? How can I make it easier for them? Because I almost feel like the job that I do, because I'm brought in so closely, and a lot of times the work, like kind of, the work mimics art, art mimics work, you know what I mean? And so with the worlds kind of clash. I have a lot of clients that know my kids personally, and some that have watched my kids. But then on the other hand, I have clients that I go to their mamas and might show up at the hospital with one of their kids sick or something too. You know what I mean? So being in this industry, like, one of the things that I realize is that life kind of mimics art, art mimics life, you know? And one thing, when I look at what it is, it's like, okay, this, doing the type of service that I do, being a publicist, being behind the scenes, helping someone realize their dreams, it's almost like I'm one of God's angels, honestly. Like, so I take my job really seriously, because I recognize that if I do my job well, it's going to be the connective tissue that helps everything else go off. I won't say without a hitch, but easier. For example, you write a book. What's the purpose of writing the book if no one's going to pick it up and no one's going to be able to be helped because of the book? You know what I mean? You spend these millions of dollars creating this blockbuster movie, and if no one comes to see the movie, then it's considered a flop, no matter how great the work, the body of work is. So for me, I have to recognize that if I don't do a great job pushing this campaign, then that might be the last job that one of my clients get. That might be the difference between their daughter going to college. That might be the difference from them, having their mortgage paid. And not only that, the people that I work with, a lot of them look like me. And so what does that mean for us in general? You know what I mean? What does that mean? That means that if we don't do well with projects, then we may not be getting hired. So I might be stopping if I'm working with a top actress in this industry. Then if I don't do my best job, right? Or even a beginning actress. There was an actress that just called me that's doing a BT movie with BT. It's a TV movie. But if I don't do my best job with her, I could be potentially stopping the next young Black actress that's coming up the rank 2 years from now from getting a job, just because the numbers weren't right, or she didn't get enough press, or didn't get enough, you know what I mean? So I feel like my job is connected to so many other people who are waiting for me to show up just so that they can be great at whatever it is they're doing. You understand?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
think
So
too that is a part of legacy as well.
yeah.
I think you hit on, and I think it's big for me is the awareness piece.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, knowing the
Mhm.
sacrifices that those have made that have come before us to allow us to be in
Right.
position to be where we are, but then now going through our thing and living and learning and serving and
Mhm.
aspiring, but then now
Right.
helping others,
Right.
and just to see where it all fits together. So it
Yeah.
continues to move and grow.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
Well, personally, what are three things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
being a mom
Hmm.
every day, I'm proud of that. Like every single day, because I no, this is serious. Because I realized that my children, I prayed for them, I planned for them, but I still wasn't ready. You know what I mean? And the truth of
Yeah.
the matter is, it's like they keep me, like my middle son keeps me completely honest in who I am. He is 11 years old, but he has the soul of a 79-year-old old man, and he will look me straight in the eye and be like, Mom, da, da, da," and he's not afraid to call his father out too on some things. So I'm like, he keeps me really honest. And my baby son keeps me very loved. Like he well, I'm not getting to that story, but he's battled some health issues very early on, and I almost lost him. So
Mhm.
he keeps me present. I guess that's what I should say, because he was actually born on television, and 14 days after he was born, I was producing a TV show, and I went right back to work. So we never got that. He was the last, and we never got that bonding time, I guess. But
Yeah.
it was a trip. It's a trip how God works. And when he got sick, then we got time together. So the first thing I'm proud of is being a mom. Like that every day. Every day I'm proud of being that. The second thing I'm proud of is actually, whew, wow. When I think about it, I have to say being grounded enough to appreciate where I am, but also being inspired and motivated enough, like keeping myself mentally hyped enough to believe that I can accomplish the next level. It's hard. It's hard to stay like grounded and then just like, okay. So then the third thing I'm proud of, um, I don't know. Typically people would say career, but I know my career is not just me. I know
Yeah.
honestly that it's been favor from God,
Oh, without
because
a
it's
doubt.
something that I said at 9 years old that I wanted to do. Like at 9 years old, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a nurse, I'm gonna be an evangelist, I'm gonna own an orphanage, and I'm gonna be an entertainer. And so it's like honestly, all of those things have happened. And so I can't say, oh, I'm proud of my career, because when I pray about something, typically it's God push me to the forefront so they know it's you. You know what I mean? So it's not like I can say, oh, I'm proud of that. I can say that I'm honored to be a part of someone's journey. That's all.
Hey, I got a one word response to that, and that
What's
word is boom. Hey,
He said,
hey,
"Boom."
yeah, boom. I think for sure faith is a foundation,
Uh-huh.
and holding on to that firm foundation. I think you said this word, the D word, discipline. It allows
Hmm.
you to have the discipline to be focused, and organically you eliminate the distractions, and
Right.
great things happen for
Right.
you
Right.
because those things that you learn through the disciplines of that help you be
Right.
successful.
This is true. This is true. I always tell people not to go back to the Bible, because you would think that I'm a Bible toting, verse quoting type of chick, and I'm not. I would say Jesus and curse you out at the same time. But I always tell people, like, even if you don't believe in the Bible, if you follow some of those rules, you'll see
Yes,
how simple life becomes and how clean it becomes. You
yes,
know what I mean?
yes,
Toxin free, drama free,
yeah.
and actually just having some sense of peace when everything is questioned. Everything in life is a question mark.
Well,
So,
since you went Bible, I'm gonna go church on you.
okay.
And the church said, "Amen."
Ah, yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, let's hit on success. What is your
Hmm.
definition of success?
Success to me is being able to balance I use the word balance a lot this year. Being able to balance your goals, I guess, with understanding, that's good. It's being able to balance your goals and still understanding that there is a way to kind of forgive yourself for not meeting the mark, but not giving yourself an excuse for not eventually getting to the mark. You know, because I think success is an evolution. Like, people look at success like, oh, when I'm 26 years old, I want to be married and have a house and have a husband and have some kids. Oh, now success is, I want my kids to be enrolled in private school and they need to da-da-da-da-da. And, oh, I need to make $100,000 this year. And then success is, oh, okay, we need to buy a bigger house now. And I need to get go from the Jaguar to a Range Rover. Oh, now success is, you know what I mean? So it's constantly evolving. You're always on a quest for whatever that success is. So I think it's kind of like, okay, here are your goals. And then even if you don't meet that mark, then forgive yourself somewhere in between, having that mark and trying to accomplish that mark. Somewhere in between that is like really success, because it's like, you don't want to stay at just trying to, because trying to is a whole bunch of excuses as to why you're not making the mark, right? But if you can be somewhere in that medium, then you're like, okay, you're steady climbing, but you're still at peace at whatever the will of God is for you. But you're working toward it. You know what I mean? And you're understanding that it's going to keep on evolving. You never really get to what success. You don't know if you're successful until you die. I don't know if I'm successful raising my sons until they become men. And by that time, it's too late. They're already raised, right? So you're never going to really know. And then how do I really know if I'm successful if I have 3 and 2 out of the 3 do what society says that they're supposed to do and 1 don't? Is that success or not? You know what I mean? So it's constantly like, from the womb to the tomb, I am their mother. And until I stop breathing, I'm Monique Jackson. And as long as I am a publicist, every day is an upward battle. There's some benefits to it as I go. But where is success? Like, you don't know until you get there, I guess. Kind of like heaven, right? I don't know.
That's some deep thoughts. I really like that. And I think it resonated with me, because I think in that process, we have to maximize our potential.
Yes, every day, every opportunity. That's where if you really are trying to be quote unquote successful, that's where you'll start seeing the results. And then that's when you'll feel good enough to pat yourself on the back and go for the next goal. When you don't maximize anything, like, how can you expect anything to happen, right? And so then it's either you are working towards success or you're just working toward a big ass failure. Like, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? You're just like giving up. You're just laying down and like, okay, I'm gonna eat this ice cream and die.
And that is not an option at all.
Right. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's it.
It's not.
Well, no. I want to say thank you again so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. If you don't mind, before we get off, share with the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and show you some love with all of the amazing things you have going on.
Okay, it's really simple. It's my name, Monique Jackson, MoniqueJackson. The number 1 is on Instagram, and then Monique Jackson on Twitter, just plain Monique Jackson. Or you can go to my website, which is Monique Jackson, go figure. Or you can Google me. I'm always somewhere doing something, somehow, being of service. So that's it.
Well, thank you again. I wish you continued success and all the great things you have going on, and go get it.
I will.
All right. Well, thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless.